The MeatStick is a wireless meat thermometer designed to be used in both smoking and grilling applications. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the details to see if it's something that you should be adding to your outdoor cooking toolkit. The team over at MeatStick asked us if we would like to try out their new Wi-Fi Pro combo set, and we happily obliged. All of the opinions that follow in this video are my own, and I'm not being told what I can and can't say. So with that said, let's take a look at what comes in the box. The Wi-Fi Pro combo set comes with a nice carrying case, and with all of the small pieces included in this set, that shows some forethought by the MeatStick team. There's a Wi-Fi Bridge included, which is the device that connects multiple MeatStick devices to the branded app for both Apple and Android devices. There's also a MeatStick thermometer and a charger, and a MeatStick Mini X and charger in the box. Now let's take a deeper look at each piece of the set. The MeatStick is the original product from the company, and it has two sensors inside the casing to measure temperature during a cook. There's an ambient temperature sensor in the end of the thermometer here that lets you know the temperature of your grill or smoker. I've used the MeatStick on my gas grill, pellet smoker, Kamado grill, griddle, and more, but I haven't tested it in the most harsh environments for super hot cooking. If you're wanting to cook on a device like a beefer or the Auto Wildy, which is like a restaurant salamander for home use, those get well over 1,000 degrees and would certainly be over the ambient temperature limit. The same goes for a pizza oven, as those run in the 1,000 degree range as well. So when I say high heat, I'm talking about cooking around 550 degrees being the max temperature without voiding the warranty. The sensors in the probe itself are located towards the tip of the probe, but not in the tip itself. The sensors are located here in the MeatStick for temping meat. It's important to note that this is where the sensors are because you want to know where the thermometer is measuring the temp of your protein. If you expect it to measure at the tip and you place the MeatStick accordingly, you'll be surprised when you don't think it's giving you the right reading if you check with an instant read thermometer. Now, in most steak and chicken applications, this won't matter much. But when you start working with larger roasts and cuts of meat like brisket, it's important to know. When you're using the MeatStick, you need to push the thermometer all the way in so that there's no portion of the thermometer showing other than the cap itself. Since the thermometer has a much lower heat tolerance than the cap, you can easily go about unintentionally voiding your warranty if you leave a portion out. So let's take a look at the Mini X. There's just a single sensor in the Mini X compared to the larger MeatStick, and it's found in the thermometer and not the cap. The Mini X does not read ambient grill temperature like its big brother, but it does come in a smaller package. There are some applications where the MeatStick is just too long for me to use. Chicken thighs is one of the first things that come to mind. During testing, I smoked a couple of packages of thighs that we were going to use for burritos with friends, and the MeatStick was so long that I couldn't get it all the way into the thigh without it breaking through. That, though, was an application where the Mini X fit the bill perfectly. Let's look at the temperature limits of each thermometer. The MeatStick has two sensors, and the ambient sensor has a range of 32 degrees Fahrenheit on the low side and 572 degrees Fahrenheit on the high end. The internal temperature sensor has a low limit of 32 degrees and 212 degrees on the top. This means that you can use the MeatStick for brisket, pork butt, steak, chicken, deep frying, sous vide, you name it. As long as you push the thermometer all the way in, there are many ways to utilize this in your outdoor cooking setup. The Mini X, on the other hand, has a single sensor with a range of 32 degrees on the low side and 185 at its highest safe point. This makes it perfect for cooking things like steak, chicken breasts, pork loin, chops, and other meats that are more of a hot and fast cooking method. If you wanted to use the Mini X in a brisket, pork butt, or even chicken thighs, here's where you could run into problems. As soon as your thermometer hits the 180 degree mark, the app will start giving you aggressive warnings that you're about to hit the top limit and void your warranty. With 185 being the top limit, Briskets and pork butts aren't finished cooking for most low and slow applications, which means it's just not a good match. If low and slow is your thing, the MeatStick is going to be your better choice, and leave the hot and fast applications to the Mini X. One of the first questions that people ask when they run into the MeatStick in use here at the lab is how they're charged since they're wireless. Both thermometers come with a separate charging dock that's powered by AA batteries. Whenever you place the thermometer back in its dock, it will charge the battery. Each charger is sized for the appropriate thermometer, but the charger for the Mini X also acts as a Bluetooth repeater, allowing up to 260 feet of wireless connectivity. So here's how the connectivity works for each thermometer. When you sync your MeatStick with the app, it's ready to use as long as your phone stays within 6 feet of a closed grill or within 33 feet of an open cooking setup. If you add the Mini X charger to the mix and then keep it within 6 feet of your closed grill, the charger acts as a Bluetooth repeater for up to 100 feet of connectivity indoors and 260 feet of connectivity outdoors. It's handy that the Mini X charger comes in this combo pack, so even when you're just using the MeatStick, you can still enjoy the added distance during your cook. If even further connectivity is needed, that's when the Wi-Fi Bridge comes into play. Plug in the bridge and connect your cook to Wi-Fi. That's what we use when we need to run to the store in the middle of a cook, or when we're doing an overnight brisket cook and can't stay within 100 feet of the smoker. I'll just plug the bridge into power and place it next to the grill I'm cooking on, and I'm connected wherever I go. We've walked through all of the features of the MeatStick and the Mini X, so let's talk about some ways that it could be improved in the next version. The first thing that comes to mind is that the probe itself has quite a large diameter. It's easily twice the size of wired probes that I'm putting into meats from other manufacturers, and at least 4 times the size of the wired competition probes that I'm currently using. That just means that if you're planning on shooting a picture for Instagram of your finished steak cut into beautiful pieces, that you'll have a discernible hole running through each slice that the probe penetrated. It's by no means a deal breaker for us, since when we're cooking for competition, we use competition probes. The MeatStick has become our go-to probe when we're cooking at home for the family, though. No wires means that we can just stick the probe in and continue on with our dinner prep. The only other improvement that I'd like to see in the next version is the ability to plug the thermometers into the meat before syncing everything with the app. It's a small thing, but it's a mistake I made multiple times during testing. I just come out with the steaks, plug in the MeatStick and the Mini X, and then open the app to set up my cook. The only problem is that you can't do it that way at the time of this review. You need to make sure that you start up the app, then make sure each stick is synced before you take them out of the chargers and get them into the meat. When it all comes down to it, the MeatStick and the Mini X are breakthrough thermometers that are changing the game when it comes to connectivity without wires running through your grill. I love that companies like this are pushing boundaries and taking us places we haven't been able to go before. The future is bright in the connected thermometer space, and pushing wireless to new boundaries is definitely where I want to be as we find this to be the new norm in years to come. If you'd like to purchase the MeatStick, you can check out our link below that will take you to their website where you can learn more and make a purchase. If you do decide to make a purchase, it will simply help support our channel, as a portion of the purchase price will come to us to help keep videos just like this coming your way. It doesn't cost you any more, but it means the world to us as we strive to keep the bills paid and continue to bring you the best in outdoor cooking and outdoor living. If you're on social media, we'd love to have you join us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. We post every day with our favorite recipes, barbecue gear, and sales that we're aware of in the outdoor cooking space. Just give us a follow and we'll keep bringing you the best in outdoor cooking. Now we're coming up here on 25,000 subscribers on our channel, and you're not going to want to miss out on that. We have giveaways planned for our subscribers, so make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, since you can only win if you're subscribed. I'm David Gafford, and I want to say thank you for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next time right here on the Barbecue Lab.